The primary difference that I sense between learning Todi online versus offline would be the environment. Offline environment, it generally feels more immersive, and we can listen to the subtleties, the microtones better in the offline mode. And honestly, I do find myself to be more intuitive and regular at Riyaz, let's say when I'm learning offline. And I've also observed that the retention rate that I have is also more in offline mode. The disadvantages, if I am to say, would be that learning offline, uh, it can be a little less flexible if, let's say, I'm a working professional or a student. But yeah, in case of online learning, I did face several issues, to be honest. Like, there would be a mismatch of our schedules, or the screen might lag, or we may completely lose on the lower notes or the microtones, so to speak, which kind of also disturb the momentum of the session a lot. And the only, also at times electricity and range issues in rainy weather were a contributor to that as well. However, if I am to say the advantage of learning offline, it would be the flexibility. Let's say if I'm traveling, or if I'm living in a different city or a different country for that matter, I can still stay connected to my guru and learn from him. The
Hi everyone, I am Vivek Patil, singer, songwriter, and music director. I started learning Drupad in 2018 from Shubhrot Roy sir. I used to stay at his place and learn in a Gurukul style environment. So, learning directly in front of him made a huge difference. I learned how to use voice and how to sing Akar, Agamak, Hudak, Lehek, Meend, these Alankar especially, in a proper way. So things like correct breathing, exploring alap and upaj, and expressing bhav, especially bhav in a bandish, these are subtle but challenging skills. And from my experience, learning all this in front of guru is extremely important. And I can say online learning is a bit difficult to give the same depth, especially for Drupad. So that's why I feel truly grateful to be on this lifelong journey of learning Drupad.
Sa re ga sa ga re ga pa ga pa da ni da pa ga pa da ni da pa ga pa da ni sa.
Namaste. My name is Anshuman Jangi. I'm a student of Pandit Subratadev Sharma Vandyopadhyay. I have been learning Shastriya Sangeet, Margya Sangeet now for 4+ years. I'd say in specifically how I have approached it, I've tried to be Prathama Shrotak Sadaiva Shishya. I want to always be a student, always learning, so that I may be the best of listeners first and foremost. That was a personal goal when I got into learning Rag music and ICM and Hindustan Bharatiya music. The most traditional and I think the most effective way, and the one with the most emotional value, mental value, discipline by far, is learning Sina ba Sina in front of each other in person in the Guru Shishya tradition. I have to say, had I not had that initiation, it would have been very difficult even to navigate the things I did much after I lost that beautiful opportunity of sharing the same city and the same space as my guru and my fellow guru bhais. Nothing can replace that. You hear differently. Your teacher hears you differently. You hear yourself in the context of each other's voice. As beautiful as a recording can be, the fact of the matter is sound hits the ear differently. And in the intimacy of learning in front of each other with our gurus, I think the best possible experience could be had. Outside of that, the few opportunities I had to share a stage with Sir, if only to share some questions or provide a little backup singing, or if only to hear and play the Tanpura, little that I've ever played it in the background for Sir, it has been an experience unto itself, because performance is a whole different cup of tea. I think if one can truly sink themselves into the listening of a raga, its rendition, the nuances of bandish, when they're applied to the learnings, you start learning when you have learned with your guru, when your hand moves with the tal of the bandish easy enough and you are able to paste the sum and see where the upaj happens. That is a whole different learning, because suddenly nor are you in the pressure of learning the piece, nor are you in the pressure of supporting or performing performing the piece or supporting the performer of the piece. Rather, you can take the full ananda of the moment. Outside of that, I will say online learning also has an important space, specifically in today's world. I have had various levels of success with online learning. Online learning can be, in this world where many of us do not share the same space or the same schedules, online learning can be key to being able to have, to use a gym analogy, sort of follow up, being able to check in on a regular basis. But I will say, firstly, online learning is limited by the quality of the microphone, the receiver, the software's capabilities, or rather, sometimes it's over capabilities to suppress sound for other requirements. More so, even with the best recording, you would not be able to sync up time between two people on a live call. More so, sound will not sound the same. Of course, if someone is singing clear notes like a Komal Ray or a Ga, yes, of course, I'll get it. But there's a chance that nuances are lost, that gamaks are lost, that a particular shruti, specifically that a Drupadiya might try to bring, it could not be expressed, especially in a learning environment. However, I feel for regularity, continued learning, in a structured syllabus sort of environment, it is a good place to make sure that the learning does not stop. However, without the supplementation of direct Guru Shishya contact as per our Bharatiya Parampara, it would be difficult to do anything but engage in a shadow of actual Raga Sangeet. Thank you.
Bali, Bali, aare
ठीक दो हो जाएगा
हाँ
बलि आई के सुंदर.
Namaskar. My name is Shilpa Shankar Narayan. I'm a Drupad vocalist. I've been learning Drupad with Subroto sir since the past 6 months or so in an online format. But this is not the first time that I'm pursuing this learning in an online way. I started my Drupad learning in a face-to-face class format, and I know that there are many advantages to it. The biggest difference between online and face-to-face learning, one is the rigor, because it takes a lot of effort to be present physically for many hours, practice certain things, and go deeper into aspects of frequency, shrutis, etc. But there are advantages to online learning as well. I also have students who are learning from me online because I live in Manila. In 2018, when I moved to Manila, as a Drupad practitioner and probably the only one in the region, I had no option but to explore online learning and teaching. So, of course, with a lot of trials and errors and a lot of struggle, I finally was able to set up a mic and computer combination with which sound quality was maintained to a very high level, and that really helped me a lot. So I think if we can maintain a certain sound quality, then online learning offers us the opportunity to look into minute details. It also allows us to record and go into very, very specific aspects of Drupad, which are very, very important because it's a frequency thing. And sometimes I've felt that with online classes, we get more of that detail because of usage of mic, etc., than we get in an actual class, face-to-face class also, because in face-to-face classes, we have environmental noises, we have maybe in a house, a fan and all that. So sometimes there are distractions, but on online, those distractions are missing. Like I said, online format is easier. You can sit anywhere. You can take out that 1 hour, 2 hours and just pursue something. It also allows you to organize yourself in a certain way, which you get used to it. But face-to-face class for a traditional art form is a very, very essential aspect. So I feel that it's not possible for online to replace a face-to-face learning format completely, but it can be an excellent supplementary way of augmenting the learning and also going deeper into certain facets. So if there are specific things that you want to focus on, it works very well. So personally, I feel for senior students who have already understood aspects of Shruti, Swara, Rag, and certain behavioral aspects, the attitude has been developed, an understanding has been developed, the ear has been developed to listen. Online works very well because it allows you to stay in touch. It allows you to keep the continuity alive wherever you are in the world. But for beginners, it may have very limited usage. And at some point, one will feel that I want to hear it, sitting right there and the voice or the instrument. So though we are getting used to online formats, I still feel that the primary, I think, should be face-to-face, and online can, in limited way, it can be used to enhance your learning, but it cannot be dependent on for accurate learning.
Namaste. My name is Ameya Gore. I'm a filmmaker based out of Pune. And I've also been learning Dhrupad Gayan with Dr. Subrata Roy for the past 10 odd years. Being a filmmaker, I'm certainly not against technology because the capturing of visuals and audio faithfully is quite a complicated technology. And if that technology wouldn't exist, then my profession itself wouldn't exist. So nothing against technology here. However, in this particular context of transmission of knowledge in the Guru Shishya Parampara and the mediation of technology in this, there are several limitations which one needs to consider. When we all experienced the boom of Zoom, the app, in COVID, several meetings, conferences, classes were happening online via the app Zoom. We also tried our hand at that. Subrata sir would come online and we would try to have some classes, music classes on Zoom. And a funny thing started happening because there's something called as a signal to noise ratio in audio. Signal is the part of the audio which is desired to be transmitted, and noise is what comes in your way, which is not desired to be transmitted. So since Zoom is supposed to be an app which transmits conversations, it considers everything else apart from voice as noise. So funnily enough, when we used to play a tanpura in the background, it would consider the tanpura sound as noise and cancel it out, which made the whole exercise a nightmare. Also, if one would extend a particular note like and stay on it, it would also consider that frequency as noise and cancel that out as well. So that exercise was ended in failure. Of course, technology keeps updating itself. The Zoom app or other apps now are in a much better position to transmit the Drupad music or music in general. However, what I would like to make is a broader point, and that is about the sanidhya of the Guru. Can Zoom or any other app be a replacement for the Sanidhya of the Guru? In my opinion, no.